Can you hear me now? Hello, hello. Okay, great, awesome. I just realized that my thing is still on. So let me go turn off my fan. Oh fuck, forgot. Okay, I'm gonna go turn off my fan. I'll be right back. Male Anatomy 101. That's today's KaboClass topic. Let me just get on my goddamn chair. Okay. Okay. I'm in my chair now. Anyway, hello. Hello, romance. God. So, Male Anatomy 101. That's what we're doing today, tonight, whatever day or night or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm losing track. So, I've been watching Bingo Stray Dogs, as we all know. I have not set up, so we're gonna do that together. Yay! Okay, let's see. Let me go to my email, because I emailed myself the reference that we're gonna be using. Okay, download. Okay, and then I'm going to delete these. Okay, it's in my downloads. Now I'm gonna open it. I'm purposefully not showing you. Downloads. This one, open. Okay. Okay. Transform. Bigger. Okay. Amazing. So, this is what we're gonna be doing today. Yay! It is not female anatomy, it is male anatomy. Where is my today's topic? Here, I can just do this. Male anatomy. There we go. I hope you're all excited. I'm excited. Cause I need to study this more as well. I always need to study more. Everyone needs to study more. But I specifically need to study this more. So let me call this reference. So the thing about male anatomy is that usually like a more masculine person is gonna be like wider at the top and like thinner at the bottom, kind of like an upside down Dorito. You know what I'm saying? Ready to learn? I could probably look in a mirror. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So what we really want to focus on is the shoulders and kind of like the Dorito shape. We are going for like prime Dorito shape. You can't see, I'm moving my hands. You can't see that. Just pretend that I'm moving my hands on the screen in a Dorito shape. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna get our handy dandy this. I'm gonna move actually this all the way over to the side. Because I'm left-handed, I have to be different. And I just draw better when I don't have to stretch my arm all the way over here. I can just draw right here and it'll be fine. Anyway, so let's start with like kind of like a, let's start, okay, Where should we start? That's a good question. So, if I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is that these are like more petite builds, like more like lean muscle, and like very much just building off slightly the skeleton frame. This one is a little bit more muscular. We have like some pretty intense muscles over here. But this is more of like a quote unquote average kind of body weight. And then over here we have a little bit more of like a plus sized with various different you know, ways that a body that weighs this much can look, you know? So of course every body is different, and it doesn't really matter what you look like as long as you can draw it. That's the point, right? So today we're gonna figure out how to draw various different male body types. Of course, with male and female, the legs pretty much look the same, except, you know, females are more like rounded and males are more like sharp. But I'll get into that later. So, let's do like, let's do this one, because this one's like closest to our skeleton form. I think that would be a good idea. So, the best thing to do is just like copy what you see and try and make it as accurate to the picture you're seeing as possible. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm kind of building my form off of my little structure right here. This is the center line, this is the shoulder line. And then we have a shoulder. The arm kind of goes like this and this. This really isn't there. Of course, you can make this in your own style. You can do whatever you want. If you can see this, this arm comes up right here, and then it immediately goes into the biddy right here. So there's like this muscle that's like right here, like the, you know, like the pec right here, and it's attached to whatever this is. Isn't that like a tricep or something? So this connects right here. So when you're drawing it, usually you don't draw like the whole muscle, right? You just draw like this. So you would end up just drawing this connected to here right there, if you're doing it at this angle. Pectoralis major. Pectoralis major. Okay. Thank you, Ramans. So then we have this collarbone, which goes from, it's like, it's not a straight line, it goes down a little bit. So, but it attaches right here at the middle of this muscle. So kind of like this. And its lowest point, of course, is in that center line, which with the body form will more like be like that. And then we have the neck, the sexy neck muscles. Of course, this goes into that. Like this. And then, of course, at our natural waist, we have the belly button. And then we have the V. Then we'll refine it a little bit. I think this is pretty good. So another thing is that I see that this whole area right here is kind of all connected. So I want to like make sure that I'm connecting mine as well. And it makes sense. Even if I erase the majority of the lines, I want to make sure that like the curve is accentuated, you know? Yeah, like that. Yeah. So pretty much like this. There we go. Pretty good, right? I mean, you know, it could be better, but for studying purposes, I think it's good. Now, another thing that I've learned in my various years of doing stuff like this is that men and women's nipples are placed differently. So, women's nipples are like in the middle, like this. But men's nipples are on the side, like this. Yeah. Very interesting. I don't know why. But it is what it is. That's how it looks. Never knew that. Yeah. Isn't it weird? Like, you know, men and women are pretty equal. Like, most, like, biologically, except for boobies and genitalia. You know, like, but like the only difference between like men and women's breast is that like women have like the part that makes the milk underneath it. You know? Nothing else is different. That is literally the same. Like the makeup is the same, you know? It's just, you know, if you added the milk making part to a man, it would be the exact same thing. But like where the nipple is in different places, I don't know. Hello, Goblin, hello! We're talking about nipples. Probably do something with the mammary glands. That's what I was thinking too, but like why? Turtle is here! Oh my god, hi, Turtle! Hello! Are you having fun at Goblin's house? I hope so. Goblin, are you having fun with Turtle at your house? I hope so. Hello, Goblin and Turtle. Yeah, hello, hello. Hi! Oh my gosh! Hello! Having a ton of fun? Amazing. So glad. Yes. Fantastic. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. I made them drive me to the grocery store. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay, so this is pretty much like your generic, like skeletal, like a little bit of meat on top of skeletal, like male anatomy. Like, see how like, here, watch. Like, it's very much like this, you know? Like upside down Dorito, like I was saying. Whereas women are more like this. Sometimes like this. You know? Like, to be masculine, it's always about, like, the shoulders. You know? Like, the shoulder broadness. That's what gets, like, a masculine vibe, you know? Anyway, so I'm gonna call this... What should I call this? I need my little thingy. What should I call this? I'm gonna call it petite. I'm actually gonna make this like this. Oh fuck. Okay, and then we're gonna do... we're gonna like go up slightly. We're gonna do this number 3 right here. Because I'm not gonna sit here and like draw all of these. That would be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I am gonna do number 3. So number 3 is kind of like the same, like, body mass. It's just there's more muscle, you know, more definition, I guess. So that's what we're gonna really focus on. It's pretty much the same. I would say the neck is slightly larger, and we see that there is this muscle coming down from the neck right here, like this. That's the back muscle. And then we have this big old guy right here, and this big old guy right there. And then, you know, this is pretty much the same. We have boobie. See, okay, you see how they're... Wow. You see how there's like, you know, it's not like straight. There's like a little triangle. So we're gonna kind of follow that. Oh my god. Anyway, and then it kind of goes up like this. Like a bit of a boobie. You know, like that. And then there's this. Of course, these are the same. Now we have the neck muscles, of course. And then, okay, so you see this muscle right here? This is not the same. Like, these two are separate muscles right here. They're separate. It's not this. They are one and then the other. So there's one at like the front of the arm, like this. And there's one at the back, like that. Biddies are very important, yeah. And then, just like we just did, there is one muscle right here. And then another muscle right here. This is just kind of like, bum. So again, there's a muscle right here, like on the inside of your arm. You can just like picture your arm, and then there's one on the outside. So there's like a line right here. And this is for women too. It's just, you know, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to see it, muscle drawing wise, unfortunately, women have more of like a higher BMI, so they have like naturally more fat on their body, so that they can of course bear children and like the child won't die because there isn't any fat to eat. So when you have a higher BMI, you don't have as, like, visually speaking, you don't have as intense of like muscle showing. Even though it's still there, you just don't see it because the fat is surrounding it and it is like squishing it out, you know? So with men, it's really important to show like the angles of things, because this makes it look more sharp, whereas if you do something soft like this, it looks more fatty, it looks more rounded and squishy, which is why men are sharp angles and women are soft curves. Anyway, I'm gonna draw the center line. And now we're gonna move on to everyone's favorite part, the abs. So the abs go from the biddies all the way to like the corners of like where the uterus would be. And so it goes up in a straight line to the belly button, and then it curves off to the edge of the biddies. Of course, we're gonna get that in there. So we have our natural waist right there, very important, and then we have 2 sets of abs above and then one below. The one below is very large. So like it's like your top abs and your bottom abs. So you kind of want to like, there's a space at the top which becomes a different muscle, but it kind of looks like abs. So just like kind of lightly draw this thing and then halve the rest of your space. Just put a line half. So these squares will be your abs, and then this, once you have more muscle on you, like see, like right here, like this is its own muscle. It's technically not an ab. It's like a biddy stabilizer. I don't know what it's called, but your abs are 1, 2, 3 right here. These are your abs, and this is a different muscle entirely, which is why on this one there's 1, 2, 3 right here, and then this. These haven't developed yet because they're not abs. They're completely different. I don't know what they're called though. Anyway, so abs have a lot of different shapes. You can, if you look at like a bodybuilder, you can see them flex, and you can see that they can like move their abs to look like different shapes. It's really crazy. So it's kind of whatever you want to do at this point, but as long as they're slightly square shaped, you're fine. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do like this, and then like I'll do like that, like at the top, and then I'll do this again, and then another like top thing, but I won't close the bottom right here. I'll just leave that to your interpretation. You can also, of course, do it, that would kind of like be like this, you know, but you can also do it like this. like that. Or you can do it like this, but it doesn't look as natural. You know, do what you want. This guy though, he kind of has like a like this going on, which would be like this. It's just that this ab at the bottom is overlapping. That's what it's kind of doing, like this. See that? Of course, if you want to make abs look super realistic, what you want to do is not about your line art, it's about how you shade it. See how like this guy has some pretty nice shading going on? If I were to erase that shading, it wouldn't look as good. You know, like if I were to erase this, it wouldn't look good at all. But because it has shading like this, and even this, because it has shading, it looks so much more realistic and so much better. Anyway though, I'm gonna do this. How I normally do abs. And then for this one, I just like to go like this. And usually it works itself out. So that's how you do abs. For this muscle right here, it's basically this area and this area. So you can do like a little triangle right here and a little triangle right there, you know? And make it look pretty nice, pretty okay. Or you don't have to, you know, it's up to you. But what really gets it is these muscles right here. These stabilizer muscles. So basically it's just this group of muscles right here. And you just kind of sometimes see them and you sometimes don't, like however you flex. So a lot of people draw curvy lines like this, like just slightly curvy. Some people do like 2. Doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do. But it usually stops at like this point right here. So you can keep going, you know. At this point, there's another muscle set that's literally right here. Sometimes this gets really pumped out, and it kind of like, there's like a line. And it kind of like follows the V of the crotch. It kind of blends into it a little bit, like that. And like I said, this isn't like purely just only men, you know. Like women have these too. It's just, unfortunately, you don't see it as often. And then of course at this point it becomes a leg. These are your hip muscles right there, however you want to draw it. This muscle down here really doesn't do anything. It's pretty flat, and then it leads to your PP or whatever you have, you know. Of course this is the belly button. Like I said, we have nucleus at the sides like this. Another thing I like to do sometimes is to accentuate, kind of like you see, kind of like right here, like with these guys. They have like this like little extra line or two right underneath the collarbone. I like to do that because it accentuates how big your bitties are. Like if you put, and like especially if you do a little cleavage, and if you do another line right here, it really makes them look like they're popping out, you know? It really does. You can also, you know, there's neck muscles back here. See how this kind of happens? A little bit. You can do that. Right here, you can't see it because the arm is there. But if you would lift the arm up, there's a, what's called, your wings. I don't know the actual term for it, but people, you know, at the gym, they're like, oh, I'm working on my wings. Today's like arm day, I'm working on my wings. Back day, I'm working on my wings. It's like this muscle set back here. Sometimes, when you move your body in a specific way, it shows up. So sometimes it'll like come out from right there. A little bit. And you can kind of see it right here. So we have the stabilizers that are like this, right? So those would be these. But then the wings add another set of stabilizers that interlock. They like braid with each other right here. So it would be like this. Can't really see it very well, but right here, like that. And then we continue, of course, with however your arm is raised. Latimus dorsi, or lats. Okay, lats, yeah. I'm working on my lats today, lat day. That's funny. But yeah, so that's like basically how it works. My pen is off. Anyway, there's a muscle right here. Oh my god, it's like really off. Shit. And then there's a muscle right here. Yeah, you can make your arm as big or small as you want. This is kind of not proportionate. I'm like struggling on this side. Anyway, you get it. You understand. So, if you were to, like make, I'm gonna call this quote unquote average. It's not average, but I guess like for BL, it would be average. I see people be flying with how big some be. Damn, bitches out here really be flying though, really be taking flight with how big their wings are. That's funny. So now I'm gonna kind of show you what it would be like to kind of add on some fat, like where like the basic places are that masculine people produce fat at. As we know, with females, usually there's fat at like the below the natural waist. Usually there's some fat there that happens. Usually there's some fat at the breast tissue, but like mostly it's gonna be like around the hip stomach area. With men, it's usually in like the shoulders, arms, and like back area. Like definitely the stomach, of course, but more of like the upper stomach than the lower stomach, you know? Like for women, okay. Like for this guy right here, you can kind of imagine it as like a like a balloon of fat. Think of it as like a water balloon of fat. So this guy has like his water balloon. He's like, oh my god, am I crazy? He's like holding his water balloon like this, you know? He's like, you know, it's like tied up. It's like being held up here, right? With a woman, she would be more like this. You know? Like it would be more down here. So this is like upper stomach, this is lower stomach. Kind of. I mean, you only have one, you know, people only have one stomach. It's not like you're a cow and you have like 8 stomachs. But like, there's something about like, I don't know. I guess having space dedicated for growing a human being downstairs that really like is like, you know what, it would be a good idea, add some fat there, you know? I don't know. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, men are more top heavy. Women are more bottom heavy. That's just how it is. So for men, we really see a lot of fat show up like right here around the shoulders and the upper arms. So I'm building off of this this muscular structure because fat usually doesn't necessarily take the place of muscle, but when you have someone who is like on the more fluffy end of the spectrum, their fat is in the places that their muscle would naturally be. So and you know what, it's probably under the muscle, I mean under the fat anyway, you know, so we go over it. And of course, because of gravity, all of the weight is gonna be pushing the fat down, so we're gonna see a lot of droopies. That's what we're gonna focus on, is the droopies. Now because this is fat, we are gonna make it curvy. God, I'm really struggling on this side. So muscle, as you can see, the muscle is more concentrated to like the upper part, whereas the fat is more concentrated at the lower part. And you know, depending on where the arm is, that's how you would erase your lines to denote placement. And as we can see, we get some droopy bitties right here. So imagine we're gonna draw, you know, we're gonna draw the stomach first. So the stomach kind of comes out like this. Like I said, it's kind of like an upper stomach. So we're gonna concentrate on it kind of tapering in around the hips. Okay. So, you see how this is like a pretty solid circle of fat? What we want to do now is you kind of have to like wrap your brain around it a little bit and kind of understand how this would form in like a 3D space and then transfer it into 2D in your brain. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to imagine we put like a water balloon on top of this and like see how it would fall, and then we would draw how it would fall in our brain onto the paper. So just imagine like how your biddy would fall if it was going to go over this space. A lot of times when I do this, or when I first started to do this, to help my brain wrap around the idea a little better, I would literally do this. I would like start doing this and kind of like curve it around the structure. Don't pay attention to this line. This is a bad line. And then like that. And see how this is more of like a 3D kind of thing going on? We're gonna kind of sort of use this grid to our advantage. And we're gonna get a biddy and we're gonna like drape it on top of this form. So it's held up right here. This is our bag. There it is, a little tie. And it's gonna kind of go like this. Right? And then we would do the same for the other side. I'm not gonna draw the tie because that's ridiculous. You get it. But see how that worked? You just gotta kind of understand it in a 3D space. And then if we erase the little baggie, then we're all good. Then it looks like some droopy biddies. And then of course, ta-da! That's a really good technique, isn't it? Ta-da! Of course, and like I said last time, if you have a stomach like this, your belly button is going to be more like this because the skin is being stretched this way instead of this way. And then, you know, sometimes you'll have a little fat roll right here. Usually this roll is caused by people wearing pants. Like pants too tight. Because for some reason men need to wear pants really low. Like low on their hips. Which makes no sense, but okay. It's not like men, it's more like the fashion. Anyway, God. Anyway. Men have to wear their pants really low, which makes it very, like, it like cuts the fat in half. You know? Like this should really be like this. You know? But because there has to be like a little tight belt right there, then there's like a little loop down here and a loop down here and then a big loop up here. It makes no sense, but okay. Anyway, I mean, it kind of does the same thing with women too, because there's like, you know, high-waisted pants, and so there's a big loop down here and then a big loop up here, and so, yeah. I mean, it just, I guess, doesn't work for anyone. We should all wear skirts. Who knows? Anyway, just like in all of the other parts where I kind of showed how like fat works, the neck also fattens up and you get some rolls going like this. Like that. Yeah. I wear mine right above my hip bone. Yeah. But see, like, when you wear a belt, it, like, hugs your hip bone, you know? Like, it doesn't, like, right above your hip bone doesn't even make sense. Like, it should be at your natural waist, where you're naturally the skinniest. Right? I mean, that's how it would hold on to you better. Instead of, you know, at your hips, which is the widest point, so they're gonna fall off. Even if it's slightly above, like, that's super uncomfortable, because then, like, when you walk around, like, you're, you know, then your belt hurts, because it's rubbing against your hip bones, instead of your squishy tummy. I don't know. I think we should all wear skirts. I detest belts. Yeah, because they hurt. Because when you wear them, it rubs against your hip bones and it hurts. See? If they made men's pants, like, at the waist, the natural waist, and you put a belt there, it wouldn't hurt. Because it's around your squishy tummy. Instead of literally on, like, grating against your bones. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of issues with the fashion industry. Or I guess not necessarily the fashion industry, but like the like mass consumer fashion industry, like corporate mass production fashion. I feel like I would rock a skirt or a kilt. Yeah, exactly. I think we should all wear skirts. I think the world would be a better place if everyone wore a skirt. Personally. You know, you can wear shorts or leggings underneath if you really want to. It's like a skirt, you know? When I become president, then that day, all officers will be required to wear tiny mini skirts. Thick thighs, save lives, yeah. I got too much thighs, they'll chafe. Ooh. I gotcha. No. Good times, good times. Okay, that's basically all I wanted to show you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anything that I can, really talk about, or, that I skipped over that you want me to go over, or anything like that. I really don't like how my eyes are like blinking like Sid from Ice Age. Oh. Are we back to normal now? Not as far as I can think of. Amazing. I don't have any questions. Amazing. Lizard blinks. Yeah. It's ridiculous sometimes. Like sometimes I blink at the same time. And then sometimes I'll just like randomly wink. And then sometimes it'll be like one the other. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like what? What was that? I don't know. Maybe I need to redo my model. Who knows? Anyway. If there's no more questions, then I am going to call that a day. Thanks you guys for coming to KaboClass. I hope you learned some stuff. I definitely learned some stuff. I always need to re-go over how abs work because I'm always confused because everyone draws abs differently. You know? So it's always good for me to go over it again. Had fun as always. Amazing! I'm so glad! Alrighty, well then I'm gonna go. But Sunday, not Saturday, but Sunday I'm gonna be streaming. I don't know what time. I might push it earlier than what's scheduled, but we'll figure it out. I'll let you know. But definitely Sunday I'm gonna be doing Pokemon. So if you're into that, stop by. Also, I've decided Tuesday in the morning I'm gonna be doing a Mardi Gras celebration. We're gonna be watching the Rex and Zulu parades together. It'll be great. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. It'll be fantastic. That'll be Tuesday morning. So yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna peace out. Was a really informative day. Amazing. Had tons of fun in learning bitty squeezing in your mom time. So bedtime. Yeah, true. Very true. Ooh, sounds nice. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited. Anyway, I'm gonna peace out. But I hope you guys have a good night and a good weekend until Sunday maybe. Yay! Okay, bye-bye! Bye-bye! Bye-bye!